I come up with ways to do things that take the thought process out of it. You don't have to think about it. If you do this type of stuff, it will just kind of automatically fall into place. Right? So basically, everybody knows what the front and the back of the table is, I'm assuming, right? All right, we got the stops in the table itself. We bring it down the long side. I do see some guys bring this in the short side here. Anybody tell me what the downside of that is?
You're off the table.
Yeah, you're going to be off the table. Basically, your rail ends up right here. You get no place for support. All right, so when we bring these in, I'll lock this in. Next thing I'll do is I'll bring this all the way up. All right, and I'll do the same thing on this side here. Bring it all the way over, lock it in, bring this all the way up. Now, before I get into putting the rail on it, the next thing I'll do is I'll take this. All right, and if I can push on this, once you try to get over by it, if I can push on that, this is too loose. Which means what happens is, this one probably close and see if we tighten a little bit, but if this moves it all sideways, what's going to happen to your cut line? It's going to change. Okay? So, I got to put a lot of pressure on that. So, anybody know how to adjust those? Yeah, we got these two screws right here. With those, if you turn up a quarter turn, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to close it. I mean, it's really close. So I just open it up and give it, I turn it maybe, an eighth of an inch type of thing. And then lock it in. And as long as you can't push it down, you should be all set. All right? Because I have found that where that really matters is when you're trying to square it up, when you're trying to square the rail to the fence. If it just moves at all, you're going to have problems. Simple as this, that these are too loose. Okay? And the reason why I put this up is because these screws, if these are down lower, it's really hard to tighten this top screw because it's right up against the table. So I always bring them up. Alright, we're going to put the fence in here, or the rail in here. Now the next thing I do is I also make sure that the tab on the back side is in the groove. Alright, so it's stuck there. Now, I see some of the tables where this is way out here. Okay? I see some of the tables where it's in here or flush with this. With it way back here, the reason why I have an issue with that I have found, alright, when I've done this, is if I'm cutting a piece, let's say 26 inches wide, I've got very little to saw starting off the material. And what I have seen happen is as you're pushing the saw on, it'll grab that back dial that locks it onto the rail. It'll actually turn it as it goes on. And it tightens out to the point where you can't push the saw. And people are looking for things that are hung up in that, and it's not. It's just that dial tightens on it. Now, a lot of the newer saws don't have, or they have the black piece in them. Your saws are all old style? Old style. All right. Everybody ever look at the bottom of their TS saw? Does it have the black pieces on the dial?
Mine doesn't have it.
Yours doesn't have it?
I'm not sure.
Anybody else?
New one, you probably have it.
Yeah, if it's new, like within the last year, then all right, then you've got the black pieces on there. You won't have that happen where that'll tighten on there. Okay, you've got this black plastic piece that goes around that dial and tightens onto that black piece, and that's what pushes against the groove.
Is it like a shield or something on it?
It's a shield, and what it does, it actually makes it easier for when those wear out. You just pull that black piece out and put one in. You don't have to undo the screw and make sure it tightens at the right.
Ever looked at the side of the bottom of the saw? You'll actually see some of the magnesium alloy starting to wear a little. To prevent that.
Let me So basically, what you're seeing, you guys want to gather around here. See this groove right here, where it's kind of rounded? These grooves? There's a black piece that goes in there.
Yeah, it's like a,
The black plastic, it's about an 1/8 inch wide, and it's kind of rounded, all right? And this tightens against that, which tightens against the rail. And on the other side, instead of these pads here that are built into it, there's another black plastic piece there. So when it does wear out, like these are starting to wear out, you'll see the black powder. Mine do the same thing. The new ones, all you do is replace those black plastic pieces. It's really inexpensive, and it's the typical festival plastic. They hold up a really long time. But to fix it, it's something you can do yourself, and it's inexpensive. All right. So does everybody understand whether this way, why I have an issue with it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I do is just inside this hole here. Anybody know what that hole's for?
Hang.
To hang. All right. Awesome.
Take the
I
strap
take
out of the aluminum?
I take this plate right here and put it just inside that hole. Just so when I look down, I don't see the plate. And that will give you enough support out here and enough support out here for when you run the saw through. Okay? And then we tighten it up. And what I do is I will tighten up this back one first. And what I see a lot of is I'll see guys tighten this one first and then this one. What happens when you tighten that inside one first is I have no way of knowing whether it's twisted or not. So by having it drop down, it should drop down right on that pin. Okay? So you do the back one first with this pin already in that slot, and it should be all set. And then what we do is we just finger tighten, so I'll turn it around and tighten this inside one, and just stand tight. I don't need to crank on it. And when you drop it down, it should drop right down on that pin and be set. Okay?
First question of the day. I've always wondered what how to make use of the numbers on the.
When you figure it out, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm looking at where's I don't see a reference to compare it to.
The part is used on another piece that we have, I think, with a CMF in big
Yeah.
units.
And a lot of what Festival does, it's a system, so a lot of parts are used for other tools that we may not have or whatever. So what we were told is that this is for another tool. There's no reason to use this scale.
Yeah.
We get that question a lot.
Yeah.
We get it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I think I even brought that up at first. I'm like,